Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a used book haul for you guys. But before we go ahead and get on into the haul, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post new bookish content. I post new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, and sometimes other days throughout the week. Also, don't forget to check down in the description box below for links to all of my social medias, my Buddy Read Discord, and my Patreon, where you can be entered into winning book giveaways from me. So included in this haul, I do have some nonfiction books that are related to my profession, which is teaching, and I understand that that's not going to be very interesting for a lot of you guys watching, so I will leave those 3 books towards the end. If you are interested, feel free to keep watching. If you're a teacher, maybe you can comment, let me know if you've read these books. And then I do have one ebook that I won in a giveaway, and I rarely read ebooks because I don't have an e-reader. I read on my phone. I don't like it. The screen is small. It bothers my eyes. But this was one of my most anticipated books of 2023, so I still was excited when I won the digital copy. But I'm going to start out with the couple of physical used books that I picked up at my local used bookstore, which is Second and Charles. The first book I picked up is a YA post-apocalyptic story, and that is The Electric Kingdom by David Arnold. I have never even heard of this author, heard of this book, but I don't feel like I've read a lot of post-apocalyptic YA stories, and I really do like the concept, and I read the premise of this book and it definitely piqued my interest. But in this world, we are following the aftermath of a deadly flu as it sweeps through the globe and kills a lot of people, and society is basically left as a shell of what it once was. And we follow a main character named Nika and her dog, and she is trying to kind of retrace her father's footsteps to find this mythical portal, and I'm assuming that her father died in the pandemic. We also follow a young artist named Kip, and then we also follow a character called the Deliverer, and the way that the book describes this person is that they attempt to put lives back together. I have no idea what that means. In this post-apocalyptic world, there are these infected flies that are still swarming the globe, and these different characters have to band together for essentially survival as they all come together with a common goal to find this portal. So really interesting premise, really different. I don't know if there's going to be some magical realism in this book or some fantasy elements, but I'm really here for the survival mode, the post-apocalyptic mode, the little bit of sci-fi, the pandemic, all of that is what really drew me to this book. So if you have read it or read anything by this author, please comment and let me know how you liked it. The next book I picked up is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. This is another YA story, and this one I have heard is really creepy and a little bit dark. And then when I was reading the inside flap, reading the synopsis, it was described as like a dark fairy tale, which I am all about. But in this book, we are following 3 different girls who one day disappear, and then they return a couple of months later with no memory of what happened. But as they grow older, their physical appearance begins to change. Their blue eyes turn black, their hair turns completely stark white, and no one has any idea what this means, and the girls don't even know. Fast forward a couple of years later, and we're following Iris, the youngest of the 3 sisters, and she is trying to graduate high school, which her other 2 sisters were not able to do, and she just has a lot going on in her life. When Iris's older sister Gray goes missing, she and her sister Vivi have to decipher these bizarre clues that were left behind that will lead up to what happened to their other sister Gray. As they search for the whereabouts of Gray, both sisters begin to unravel the truth, the mystery around what happened to them when they were children, and they find themselves fighting against something that is dark and supernatural. So this book really sounds right up my alley. I am so excited to have a modern day type dark fairy tale to read, and I may pick this up closer to the fall time when I'm getting just those dark, creepy vibes. The next book is the ebook that I received in a giveaway, and that is The Magician's Daughter by H.G. Perry. This book I talked about in my February most anticipated releases video, so I'm super stoked to have this book in my possession, even though it is in digital format. We are following a girl named Biddy, and Biddy is an orphan, and she doesn't remember anything about like her early life and her past, and she is currently being raised by this magician named Rowan on this secluded island off of the coast of Ireland. Biddy is now a young adult, and she really wants to get off the island and explore the world and life, and Rowan won't let her, but yet Rowan every single night turns into a bird and leaves the island to do whatever he's doing. Biddy really doesn't know. One night, Rowan fails to return from his mysterious travels, so Biddy takes it upon herself to leave the island and try and figure out exactly what happened to her benefactor. And as she is tracing the mystery of his disappearance, she begins to learn that Rowan has a lot of enemies, there's a lot going on with him, and she is involved in things that she never thought she would be involved in, and she uncovers more truths about herself and her past and the magic that she is a part of. So this book just sounds super magical, super mysterious, and I love the setting because I have been to Ireland and it's just an amazing place, and I'm very excited to finally dig into this book and experience an author that I haven't read before. The next books I all got from thriftbooks.com. Thriftbooks.com is obviously an online used bookstore, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I have been ordering from them for years. I've had good experiences and bad experiences with them. So I have to go into thriftbooks.com knowing that I might not get the version of the book I want. The condition of it might not be perfect. However, they do have a good rewards program where if you earn a certain points, you can get a free book up to $5 value, and that is what I had. And just like everything else nowadays, the cost of these used books has gone up. So it was almost impossible for me to find a book that I wanted in decent condition that was under $5. But eventually I did find one. And this book I actually already own in ebook format. And I've tried reading it before. But like I said, I don't like reading ebooks. So I've never gotten past the first couple pages. So when I saw that Thrift Books had this book for under $5, and obviously I had that free book coupon, I grabbed it. That book is Kiss of Steel by Beth McMaster, and I did actually start this. It just looks so fun and so good that I could not pick it up, and this book is in really good condition. I have no problem with this condition. It was like $4 and something is the value of it, but this is a kind of paranormal, steampunk, romance, steamy type book, which isn't really something I normally read. I love steampunk, first off, love it, and it's such a hard genre to find. The spicy, steamy part of this, the romance part of this, isn't something I normally read. However, I have been in a really bad reading slump lately, and I thought maybe if I picked up something that was light and didn't really make you think too much and kind of had some spice to it, that it might get me out of that slump. So that is hopefully the goal of this book. I'm only 40 pages in, so I don't yet know. This is the first time I've ever read this author, and it's the first book in a series. So I will be honest, I am still in the world building stage of this book, so there's a lot that I don't yet understand about this world, and the back of the book really doesn't give that much information. But we are following a girl named Honoria, and she is about 20 years old, and she was the daughter of kind of like a decently established house, and something happened with her father. The father died, and she and her siblings were sent into poverty. So she's just trying to work and support her two siblings. And then there is a duke that kind of has it out for her and has been searching for her, and it hasn't really said why. And then we have kind of like a gang lord that rules over this part of Whitechapel where she lives, and he has offered her protection in exchange for basically lessons like school. That's all I really know about this book so far. There are some paranormal elements. There are these characters that sound very similar to vampires, but they're not necessarily called vampires. But that hasn't really been explained in that much detail yet. So that's all I know about this book so far, and I'm excited to give it a go and see if it's a series that I want to continue. The next three books are used books I got from Thrift Books also, and they are all related to teaching. If you guys didn't know, that's what I do for a living. I am a 7th and 8th grade middle school English teacher. So in my opinion, it's really, really important to constantly perfect your craft. And in today's world with Gen Z, they're just a different generation. So I wanted to get some books that would help me just to become a better teacher, a more effective teacher, help build relationships with my students better. So I did some research and I found 3 books that were highly recommended, and Thrift Books had all of them. And the first book is an oldie but a goodie, and it's literally called The First Days of School by Harry Wang. Harry Wang has established a pretty good name for himself in teaching teachers how to be effective. And this book I'm going through very slowly, and I'm taking notes and I'm writing down ideas for things that I want to implement in my classroom, as soon as possible, or at minimum at the start of the next school year. So I'm really enjoying this, and it's kind of just an overview right now of what it means to be an effective teacher, but it is going to get into the nitty-gritty of specific things and methods that you can put in your classroom. So I've been getting a lot out of this book. I'm really enjoying it. It's a very foundational book. The next one is Classroom Management That Works by Robert Marzano. And Robert Marzano is another very established name in like the education sphere. I've read a lot of his work before. I read one of his textbooks when about 2 years ago I was starting to get my endorsement in the gifted and talented sector, and I took one course. You need to take two, and I took the first one, and it really revolved around Robert Marzano's work, and I just found him to be very well researched, very intelligent in the way they explain things. So when I saw that he had a classroom management book that was fairly short, I definitely grabbed it, especially because it was a couple of dollars. So I did not finish my gifted and talented endorsement because I started graduate school and I was like, I cannot take another course on top of the courses I'm already taking. So I will probably finish that endorsement. I don't know, it'd be a good goal for 2024, maybe this year. I don't know. But I really enjoyed everything I read by Robert Marzano, and I'm sure that this book will be no exception. And then I picked up Classroom Management for middle and high school teachers. This is a author duo that I'm not familiar with, and this is Edmund Emmer and Carolyn Everston. So I'm not familiar with these two. So if any of y'all are teachers and know of these two educators, let me know if you've read anything else by them. I wanted to pick up a book that was specific to secondary teachers because we just teach a different breed. Like, teaching middle school is way different than teaching elementary school, and teaching high school is different than teaching middle school. So I really wanted a book that was specific to the age group that I teach, which is why I decided to pick this one up. All right, you guys, that is it for my book haul. Let me know in the comments what books you have acquired recently, or if you've read any of these and what you thought of them, and I will see y'all in another video soon. Goodbye!